This news update is brought to you by...
Rock the remote with hours of free karaoke on video on demand from Flow. So bring it like Bay. There's even wonderful kids sing-alongs too. Available anytime. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today Afternoon Update for Monday, February 15, 2016. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. An island-wide campaign to rid Barbados of the vector that causes Zika is underway, with 7 confirmed cases of the virus in the country, 3 of them expectant mothers. Officials from the Environmental Health Department this morning launched the Zika campaign aimed at exterminating the Aedes aegypti mosquito. The 3-month initiative will see health inspectors going house to house, searching for breeding sites. Principal Environmental Health Officer assigned to the Eunice Gibson Polyclinic, Ronald Chapman, says the campaign is currently underway in the north and south corridors of the island and will be an intense one.
We are out here in mass in terms of all the inspectors are out, and we are doing a very intensive program in terms of doing our inspections, trying to find as many mosquitoes as we possibly can, and overall trying to get a break in transmission of the disease. We want to get this disease to an end, and we want to be able to eradicate the mosquitoes from Barbados.
In other news, Member of Parliament for St. Michael West Central, James Paul, is calling for a review of the island's building practices. Addressing a Christchurch South meeting last night, Paul hit at critics of the Barbados Water Authority over the current water woes affecting the country. Instead, he pointed the accusing finger at some of the housing developments around the island, which he says is impacting the island's water supply.
Are we concerned about the fact that when we go and we put down concrete around our homes and facilitate the water going to the road, we don't want it on us, get it off. That what we are doing is that we have made the roads rivers to the sea. That's what we have done. Made the roads rivers to the sea. And sometimes we wonder why certain places get flooded more than others, or quickly after you have the building or some kind of development being done up there that these so-called developers want to do. I don't call them developers. There's another word to put for that. But essentially, these bad practices, building practices, that we have seen develop in this country is what has substantially contributed to the depletion of the underground aquifers, and we expect the Barbados Water Authority to make blood from stone.
Meantime, Paul also weighed in on the so-called rapper controversy involving a 14-year-old Springer student by calling for all involved to get the matter settled in the best interest of the child.
The simple things in life that define us. The fact that we need to brush our teeth, comb our hair, wash our clothes and put on clean clothes, develop healthy habits and good habits. And these are things that are taught to us. And maintaining a healthy environment are some things that are taught to us. And life is not fair. That is one thing we have to take care of. I really would like to see that the current debacle in the press that I see on this issue, that it be removed from that. Because it does not do justice to the child. And I am sure that if the parent looks at it, it does not do justice to the parent either.
Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago are expected to sign a cultural agreement during the final week of the 2016 Crop Over Festival. During a recent trip to Trinidad to promote Crop Over at the height of this year's carnival season, Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley told Barbados Today he will soon be formally inviting his Trinidad counterpart, Dr. Nian Gabis Dolly, for Crop Over where he hopes they could sign the agreement.
What we want to do is to establish a more formal and certainly enduring cultural arrangement. We are looking very seriously at adopting a cultural agreement between Barbados and Trinidad and Tobago. We believe we have quite a bit in common, quite a lot to learn from each other. And to take the cultural industry sector to the next frontier requires as much collaboration as possible. And I think that we have gotten to that point now where we need to buckle down and sit down and see how best we could actually evolve a formalized agreement that could work for the benefit of both of our citizens.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter. That's the move for me. Stability, prosperity. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Read all about it, read all about it. Get your paper. Only $2.25. Let's get your paper.
You again with that stale news from yesterday. I got the Barbados Today app on my phone and I just get my news for free.
What do she?
Barbados Today. News you can trust.
Well, it may be the month of love, but it is also the month of AgriFest. It is here, AgriFest 2016 at Queen's Park on February 26th through 28th, highlighting the theme, Grow, Sell, Eat, Repeat. A humongous amount of attractions and activities for everybody. So don't Dixie doodle your physiog. I, Brother Daddy, will be there, along with my sheep, Dolly, Dootsy, and Dan. So come let me celebrate the very best of agriculture in the Caribbean.
To news from the region, Jocelyn Previer is Haiti's new interim president. He was chosen by Parliament a week after former President Michel Martelly stepped down, leaving the country without a head of state. Previer was elected in the wee hours of Sunday morning following a marathon session of the National Assembly, which he currently heads. He will serve as president for up to 4 months while Haiti holds a new presidential poll scheduled for April 24, with a new president due to be sworn in on May 14. In a speech before he was elected, Previer vowed to foster confidence across society, ensure stability, and hold the much-delayed runoff vote as soon as possible. The last-minute deal aims to prevent the country from plunging into an immediate power vacuum. Caribbean finance ministers are currently meeting in Belize to formulate a regional response to the threat to the banking sector in the Caribbean. According to a CARICOM statement, the meeting, which begins this evening, will look at, among other things, the possible loss of access to international financial markets by regional indigenous banks. The topic will be the main issue of the deliberations coming ahead of the 2-day CARICOM Intersessional Summit, which begins later this evening, as I said before. It is said that regional leaders have established a committee of ministers of finance of correspondent banking, chaired by Antigua and Barbados Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Gaston Brown, to lead the response on this issue. On the international scene, 2 hospitals and a school were hit in new airstrikes in northern Syria on Monday, leaving over 20 people dead and several more injured. According to reports, 15 people were killed when a hospital and a school building that housed displaced people was struck in Azaz, while Médecins Sans Frontières says 7 people died and 8 are missing after another attack in Marat al-Numan. The strikes come days after Russia and other world powers agreed to limit cessation of hostilities in Syria. More in this report from the CNN.
Not too far away from the Syria-Turkey border, you did have that one strike on the hospital that the Turkish Prime Minister, at least, is saying was caused by a Russian ballistic missile. But then you also have other strikes that did take place, according to an emergency aid worker that we spoke to, along the road that people would have been taking, emergency workers would have been taking as they were trying to evacuate the wounded from Azaz to the Turkish border. And then, of course, that strike on the school that was housing displaced people. And then you have the Doctors Without Borders facility that was targeted in a different province, this in Idlib province, and what they are saying was a deliberate strike on this facility that is going to leave 40,000 people in the middle of a war zone without much needed medical assistance. Meanwhile, Turkey also was launching artillery at various YPG, that Kurdish fighting force, positions that are not too far away from the Turkish border. So you have all these different, very messy, very deadly dynamics that have really come together and created a devastating situation for those who are inside Syria.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. Also, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you, as well as Channel 101 on Flow TV. There you can get all the latest news and sports. I'm Fernella Wedderburn. To have a wonderful day.